Or you're a fan of Skyrim and Elder Scrolls for that dark fantasy, you want to keep your eye out on Fatekeeper, welcome to this channel, guys. Let's go ahead and get into it. This is Steam Early Access. I want to say this game was released on June 2nd of 2026, and for $7.99 for early access to play this game, absolutely freaking amazing. And I'm a big fan of Skyrim and Elder Scrolls, so the whole dark fantasy, open world, dungeons, and kind of like upgrade stats and all that good stuff in RPG games, then yeah, you want to kind of keep this game on your radar, add it to your wish list here for your PC gamers out there here. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it and kind of talk about this. So Fatekeeper is a first person dark fantasy RPG game, and it was, yeah, like I said, it was launched on June 2nd 2026. The game focuses like around melee, combat, magic, character builds, exploration, and player choice, which is phenomenal. And that's probably one of the main things I love single player RPG games like Elder Scrolls and Skyrim, because there's just so much that you can get into the game and explore and all kinds of different things. Yeah, it absolutely. First impressions so far when I went into this world and just kind of see this, oh my God, absolutely remind me of those games here. So fantastic here. So overall key features, first person, you get your swords, you get your sorceries, you get your character stats, and you do those kind of things. But cool thing is it does mix with swords, shields, bows, magic, all that good stuff that you love in RPG, dark fantasy, or fantasy kind of style games. So what the community is saying, the biggest comparison, like I was mentioning, was Skyrim and Elder Scrolls, that you'll see the dark messiah of might and magic. Many RPG fans are excited because there haven't been a modern first-person fantasy action RPG with the style of melee. Now, and I get it, right? Same thing with Elder Scrolls. There was a lot to it, but it's been since Elder Scrolls, in my opinion, to kind of really get into a game that's like this. But there are some concerns players have arise with the game being more focused, linear than like, an open world RPG game like Skyrim. But the developers themselves describe it as a handcrafted experience with a focus on narrative paths rather than a huge like sandbox. So there's going to be some storyline to it, and which is nice. I like a good story too about RPG games. But like I said, early access status, keep in mind, is just entered early access. The initial version is relatively short compared to the planned release, which is fine. I want to say when I downloaded the game file on PC, it was about 35, 40 gigs, give or take. And honestly, I wasn't even for most of my settings too. I was a lot of the stuff was custom, pretty much low to medium, and it ran pretty smooth. So pretty happy about that so far with a pretty standard or mid-range PC for you gamers out there that are on PC. If you have mid-range computers, feel like it runs pretty well with the right settings. But just like every other game, we got to kind of customize our own settings. But yeah, so overall, this is definitely going to be a good like game to kind of keep on your radar, again, to kind of like be hidden gem of RPG dark fantasy games. It definitely has a strong appeal, as you see. It's already generated a significant amount of like community player base around this, and it just released. The comments are great. So yeah, this is definitely going to be a good game to kind of keep in mind for it. So definitely overall, this is going to be an awesome first person dark fantasy world. Now think of swords and casting spells and armors and weapons and all that kind of good stuff. This is the biggest thing that you're going to want to focus around too, is just you be able to do all those type of things. So the biggest question is going to be, who will like Fatekeeper? Players who like dark fantasy games, open worlds, this is going to be it for you. So if you've been waiting for a modern game that captures that, the feel of older, fantasy RPG games, then yes, Fatekeeper feels like it was just made for you, and it's going to be one of those games you definitely want to add to your list. So also too, you probably enjoy, games that, that have the options of exploring mystery worlds, dungeons, and ruins and things like that, and just actually kind of taking your time and just seeing everything what the world has, fighting hidden loot, building unique characters. Every character is gonna be different from every player, so that's, which is cool, because not everyone's gonna be the same kind of setup. But what captures my whole attention to this game, and the biggest strengths, in my opinion, for this, for being off a first impression, the first thing that kind of grabs my attention, or what you see, or if you playing this game, is the combat styles. The game encourages sword attacks, blocking, dodging, magic use, and aggressive play. I do like the fact that you can just use kicking methods, so you can just block, kick, dodge, all that fun stuff. It really just makes it really fun to kind of like go ahead and just play and use your combat skills to it too as well. But even though, let's just face it and be honest, some of us even played early access game, and the first time we played early access games, it just doesn't, it just changes, if you know what I mean. Sometimes games do change, so hopefully this doesn't change during early access, and we see this great progression of the style game and what it really has to offer for it. So in the future, I'm hoping this really does make a difference. But I get it. A lot of us, or some people, may want to wait and avoid early access games. Maybe they're looking for more games that, the game itself, to provide hundreds of hours of gameplay, especially for those that really immerse themselves into this game. So fingers crossed that it just kind of stays true to its nature of this game, in my opinion, what it can have. But also too, as you just noticed there too, the skill tree, just like many RPG games, there is just overwhelming amount of options you can do in skill trees. You get alchemy, you can craft, which is awesome. I love that. And there's a lot of cool things that you can do into this. So hopefully it does stay true. But overall, yeah, Fatekeeper might be one of the most interesting fantasy RPG games to hit Steam this year, and I'm hoping it does. But if you ever wished, Skyrim had a more impactful combat, or wonder what a modern Dark Messiah could look like, this game might be exactly what you've been waiting for after spending some time with it for with Fatekeeper here in the first couple of hours of it. I definitely feel like it's going to be a great game. So hopefully it is what it is. But anyways, if you are here at this point watching this video, thank you so much for checking out today's video. Let me know in the comments if you are playing this game in early access or adding to your watch list or game list there. But let me know in the comments what your thoughts of this game so far. And also to hit that sub button. Appreciate each and every one of you. Guys, have an awesome time. But until next video, see you guys around.